All right. So I'm Travis Brashears. Some of you know me. Um, I'm a sophomore here in engineering physics. And I kind of want to talk about something a little bit different, but kind of related to what we've heard today. We've learned a lot about like how to kind of do entrepreneurship and what it kind of takes the mindset. But there's like a lot that you need to learn about failure. And it kind of roots back to the mentor arena as well. So I'm going to go back to my sophomore year in high school. I did a research mentorship program at UC Santa Barbara and got paired with a mentor in the mechanical engineering department. And I had to do, if there's mechanical engineers out here, you know that you have to learn a finite element analysis software by your senior year. I had to learn it as a sophomore in high school. And so I printed out like 500 pages of manuals and started reading up on it. But about the third week of the program, it's a 6-week program, my mentor sat me down, and I wasn't doing too great, and he said, "Travis, look, you'll never become a scientist, you'll never become a researcher." It was really weird. I was devastated. I went home, obviously cried, and talked to my dad, and had to reflect on why someone would sit me down, like a mentor would sit me down and tell me this. But I found out that at that moment, I really analyzed myself and what I want to do with my future, which is weird. Failure brought about this thought-provoking moment where I start thinking about, okay, here's what I want to do with my life. So I took my inspiration from Kobe and actually Eminem, but I thought it wouldn't be that appropriate. But always be fierce. I wanted to just keep moving forward, that laser focus. Kobe demonstrated that to me really well. So at the end of the program, it ended up working out okay. I ended up finishing the project, and the director of the program I kind of stayed in contact with over the course of the 6 weeks, and she saw me grow and saw me take this first 3 weeks and the last 3 weeks, and was working from 8 a.m. till 2 a.m., emailing her at 12 a.m. at night. And she kind of saw this growth and invited me back for a second year, but this time I made sure that I would get to choose my mentor and not get paired with someone that doesn't really want me. So then the next summer, my junior year of high school, I got paired with the professor, Philip Lubin. And a lot of things started to fall in place. After the 4th week, I got to meet my professor, which was weird. I did 4 weeks of research without him, but in that moment when we met, everything kind of just clicked. We had a similar mindset that mentorship pairing really was really great. And so all these things started to fall in place. So basically the research was, let's put a space-based laser into space and redirect asteroids and send spacecrafts to the closest star with it. But this was all theoretical at the time. We had a lot of people that weren't into the idea and were kind of suspect of it, so we went to go present it. People would be like, I don't know about this. So I proved it experimentally in the lab, and here's a nice picture of the laser ablation process. And so after we got some experimental results and proved it, our work started to go viral, and I guess you could call it success started to come into play. I got interviewed by Time Magazine, which was fun, and interviewed on all sorts of other TV shows. And now we're funded by NASA and a private organization for $100 million. That's on the research side. So at the same time, all this great funding, all these cool things happen, but this mindset of an entrepreneur kind of kicked in for me. Why? So there's this thing at UC Santa Barbara, at all UCs actually, that they take 52% off the top of every grant and every research money you get. It's rather saddening. If you get a private donation, you get only 2% taken off or something, but a research grant's 52%. So I kind of told my professor, this is crazy. Why the heck are we allowing this to happen? I see so many commercially viable ideas out there that we can kind of utilize, and so we're let's just start a company on the side, and that's that company, Directed Energy LLC, you see. And so I started this freshman year of college, and what the founder of Dot here talked about was pretty accurate in terms of timing and how much time you have to spend in your classes. And it's like, this is not easy. You don't get to like learn as much as some of the people around you are learning, but you're doing something that will change the world. So over my last summer, launched a Kickstarter campaign that looked like it was going to do really well. We got an article on Wired, Space.com, went viral in UK, got featured on Kickstarter, but it actually ended up only making $10,000, which was rather saddening for us because we expected so much. But we were kind of running some other ideas on the outside in parallel, just like a couple hours a week we put into that, where I was putting 10 to 20 hours a day into the Kickstarter. So that idea is now currently in the process of getting funded for $125,000, which is more on the magnitude of what we were looking at for the Kickstarter. So it was nice that we were kind of working on this idea in parallel. Even though we expected so much from one thing, it was like I learned that it's important to kind of have something else going on the back burner, kind of like a fail-safe if you think about it. And so now this is really our main mission right now, with a couple things on the back burner that we're kind of slowly applying for. So I just want to kind of leave you with some key takeaways, what I hope you could learn from my life story, which I think a lot of things and a lot of learning things come from our life story. And so, let's see. When you have a failure, take a moment, cry, and analyze. Crying's important, but take a moment and analyze what you want to do with yourself after this failure. I learned so much from myself after all my failures that if I didn't have them, then I wouldn't really know what success is, right? And always have this fail-safe. Always have something else going in the back burner. Some people are working on a couple entrepreneurship ideas. That's kind of similar. And always fight harder than anyone else around you. I think the best quote my grandpa has ever told me is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So with that, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.